Esau is going into Esau, excuse me, Esau is going to be a slave in our kingdom. And when we deal with him, we're going to deal with him harshly. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Kakodash. There's a video that was put up by Vocab Malone. Vocab Malone is just trying so hard to get get Esau in the kingdom. He must know that he's an Edomite, or he must know that so-called white people are Edomites. Well, you have Israelites that look like white people, so it's not really white. You got black Edomites, meaning tears. You got Edomites who look just like Israelites. The Herodian dynasty, they were Edomites because of their father. Even though Antipater married an Israelite woman, the children did not look like classic Edomites, which are so-called white people, a so-called white phenotype. They are nonetheless Edomites. I don't care how many mixing you did do. If you're lying, if your father's line goes back to Esau, you're an Edomite. Has nothing to do with your mother. Then in the kingdom of heaven, you will be a slave along with the other nations. But you Edomites will get it worse. But anyway, let you listen to this, and then I'll say a few things. I was going to put some precepts together, but I'm just going to go with the spirit, see what spirit the Most High gives me, what precepts the Most High give me. So let's go ahead and listen to it. So you heard she said, "Is Esau your brother?" According to the genealogical records, yes, they are a brother. If you want to go by who is the father of Jacob, Isaac. Who is Isaac and Rebekah? Who is the father of Esau, Isaac and Rebekah? But it said that there will be a separation. Y'all already know where I'm going to go. Genesis. Matter of fact, let's go to it. So we got to go back. Genesis. Genesis, what is that? Is that 20? I believe that's 19. Let me try 19. If not, it's 25. I'm almost positive it's 19. I'm sorry. It's 25. 19. 25. 25 and 19. This is the account of the family of Isaac, the son of Abraham. When Isaac was 40 years old, he married. Now, what did it mean he married Rebecca? He took her into the tent, and matter of fact, let's deal with that. Let me go to the keyword tent. All right, where am I? Give me a second. Tent. Let's do it that way. Bear with me for a minute. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, I found it. Genesis 24, verse 67. And Isaac brought her into, I got to go up a verse. Okay, so we got this right here, Genesis 24. We'll start from the 63rd verse. And let's come back to Genesis 25, verse 20. When Isaac was 40 years old, he married Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, the Armenian from Aramean from Pandam Aram, and the sister of Laban, the Aramean, also Syrian. So it said they got married, right? Said they got married, right? So let's see, how did they get married? Genesis 24, verse 63, and Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide, and he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lighted off the camel. For she had said unto the servant, what man is this? Now she didn't know that she was getting ready to get popped. She was going to get popped, whether she liked it or not, and she liked it. For she had said unto the servant, what? And even as you can read right here, even Isaac, he was doing what? He was meditating, right? And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at eventime. Now his mother had died, so he was mourning her death. And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. So he didn't know what was going on, and Rebekah didn't really know what was going on. She didn't know what was going on. For she had said unto the servant, what man is this that walketh in the field to meet us? So she didn't know what was going on. She didn't have no say as to whether she liked the man. Let me get a chance to know him. They just set up, it's called an arranged marriage, stupid. And the servant had said, it is my master. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself. Now this is where these small hats get this thing with the Hasidim community, the Lubavitcher. If a woman gets married, she's supposed to shave her head and put a wig on her head, which is supposed to represent a veil. That's not a law. That's where they got it from. If you look it up, we looked it up, right? Therefore, she took a veil and covered herself. Didn't say nothing about her shaving her head off. That's a tradition of these small hats. So that wig that they put on is supposed to represent the veil that Rebekah put on her head, but Rebekah didn't shave her head. And the servant told Isaac all things that he had done. And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. So that was the whole marriage ceremony. She jumped off the camel. He grabbed her, took it. Didn't know her from a can of paint, but they said that's your wife. Now she had to be gorgeous, beautiful, sexy. She had to be looking good. And he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. So what comforted him? What took him out of that depression? The fact that he got a piece of meat. And what happened? It says, I'm sorry. And Isaac brought her into his mother's house, into his mother Sarah's tent, and and took Rebecca, and she became his wife. When? After the ceremony. Now, you did have ceremonies. When Joseph got with Mary, Joseph couldn't wait for the ceremony, and he probably had to have her already in the house, but he had to wait for the ceremony in order to lay with her, go into her. He couldn't wait. I have a friend that got married. I never got married. I got engaged. You come to Israel, you ain't thinking about getting so-called married. But when I was younger, a friend of mine was engaged to be married, and they had to wait. They're Cuban, and they had to wait until the marriage ceremony in order to have sex. Do you know that dude? They were having sex way before the marriage. Way before the marriage. And he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. So what does the word wife? Let's take some words out. Let's take some words out. I'm kind of going off left field, but there's lessons within lessons. So let's look up the word. I already know what the word is in the Hebrew. It's laquak. Laquak. To take, get, fetch, lay hold of, seize. So if she had a problem with him pulling her in the tent, that tough, too bad. He saw that the woman was beautiful. He laid it down, and she, by the way, she was a virgin. It was the first time she had experience with a man. And he disrobed her, unrobed her, and he unrolled himself, and he, you know, he got it in, and then she became his wife. So all this marching down the aisle, wearing white, having rice thrown on you, signing paperwork, getting married with the state. Oh, and by the way, for you guys and Israelites that's into that whole state thing, y'all got to get a state. I don't know the whole big thing. Maybe y'all got your own paperwork. You know, if you get married in New York State and you take your woman to a honeymoon in New Jersey and you have sex and they not know about it, they can arrest you for that. Give me a sec. So let's keep reading. So we looked at the word took, right? It says to seize, receive, acquire, buy, bring, because you purchase wives too. Bring, marry, take a wife, snatch. There's a movie called Snatch. Take away. She couldn't object to it because the arrangements were already made. To take in the hand, to take and carry along, to take from, take out of, take away, take, seize. So now we can go to so what does it mean by being married? when Isaac was 40 years old, he married Rebekah. How did he marry? What act did he do to marry Rebekah? He went in unto her. They didn't have no courtship. The daughter of Bethuel. Oh, you know what? Let me do this. That's why it says Aramean. It should be Syrian. Let me go to the KJV. Let me come back to so the word there is married in the NLT. Right here is took, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took. Look, the word there is laquak, to seize. If she had an objection, that was too damn bad. She was gonna get popped. Rebecca to what? To wife. How did they do it? Go back a chapter back to the 24th chapter. The daughter of Bethuel the Syrian, of Pandan Aram, the sister to Laban the Syrian. And by the way, the word abhor not the Edomite, that word Edomite there, it's found one time in the word Syrian. The word Syrian. Because we're going to go into that. Ha-ada Adamya. Adamya. That's similar. Matter of fact, let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do this. Syria, Aram. So let's come back over here. I want to go right to the point. And the children struggled together within her because there was hatred between the children, two opposing forces. And she said, "If it be so, why am I thus?" And she went to inquire of Yahweh, of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, "Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elders shall serve the younger. The elder shall serve the younger." Now, when did that come to pass? Let me do this. Bear me for a minute. This is almost like a back to the basics. Bear me for a minute. Genesis 27, verse 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt, this is Esau, and shalt serve thy brother, and shall serve thy brother. The fulfillment of what we just read in Genesis 25. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, when you get back into power, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Now let's do this. So you don't think I'm making it up. All this, that scripture that you came up had nothing to do with this scripture right here, Genesis 27, verse 40. So you had this woman that's, I'm sorry. You had this woman, this Jake woman, lost soul, that's trying to, make him. Ain't that your brother? Don't you got the same father? Of course. But the Most High separated nations. There were two separate spirits. Adam was the first man. Does that mean all nations are the same nation because they all came out of Adam? Or we are one of three nations? No, there's many nations. The Most High established the nations through the spirits. This is what you Christians don't understand. So let me do this. I want to see what they say. Where they're going to lead me. Okay. So this is where they led me. I'm sorry, 2 Samuel 8, verse 14. And he put garrisons. You know what I got to do? Let me do this. I'll start at 13 verse. 2 Samuel 8, verse 13. And David got him a name when he returned from smiting of the Syrians in the valley of Salt, being 18,000 men, and he put garrisons in Edom. Where's Edom? It was south of Palestine. It was south of Moab, and it was south of Ammon, right? So now, what's a garrison? Now, let's read this. And he put garrisons in Edom through, and that's what you do for love. Oh, and by the way, this is after the law. This is after the law of Deuteronomy 23 and 7. Born out of Edomite, and the word abhor does not mean hate. Abhor means if a person is suffering from leprosy, you abhor him, meaning you stay away from him because he's contaminated. I told the brothers last weekend, don't come close to myself or any of the apostles or even a bishop, because we got this. It was wound up being a 7-day bug. But our brother, you can feel it coming on about about the fourth, fifth day. We really started feeling it, man. I mean, we thought, these brothers said they thought they were going to die. So we told the brothers, look, don't even come up to us, don't touch us in any way. Keep your distance. So we told them, look, abhor us doesn't mean hate us. When you're with your woman, you live with your woman, and when a period comes, you abhor her, meaning you stay away from her because she's contaminated. And he put garrisons in Edom throughout all. Now, so is this an act of love? No, this is an act of hate. When you put somebody into captivity, when so-called white people went over to Africa and gathered up Jake to sell him on auction block, did they do it out of love? Did they do it because they wanted us to, they so badly want us to be Christians? No, they did it out of hate. You don't enslave somebody or beat somebody because you love them. It says, and he put garrisons in Edom, throughout the land of Edom, throughout all Edom, the land of Edom, put he garrisons, and all they of Edom became David's what? Servants. And the Lord preserved David whithersoever he went. Well, wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. He showed a complete hatred for the Edomites. He enslaved all of them. And the Most High preserved them. The Most High blessed them for it. Now, maybe something's wrong with the Most High. That word abhor does not mean hate. But you know what? Christians are lazy. They don't read. They don't study. Let me read again. I'm going to pull out some words. By the way, what did it say of David? David, a man after the Most High's heart, meaning he was like the Most High. In other words, this man is all right. Most High said it about the prophets too, and about Job. The Most High told the spiritual demon Satan, he said you can't turn Job. So why? Because Job was a man after the Most High's heart, and he was an Israelite. of the tribe of Issachar. That's in the book of Genesis. And he put garrisons in Edom throughout all Edom, meaning the land, put he garrisons, and all they of Edom, all the Edomites became David's what? Servants. And Yahweh preserved David or blessed David whithersoever he went. And David reigned over all Israel, and David executed judgment and justice. Well, wait a minute. He enslaved a bunch of people. So is that justice? Yes, it is, because it's another nation. Unto all the people. So now let's pull out some words. Can we hate Edomite? You goddamn right we can hate them. They're enemies. Amos 1 verse 11. They're no longer our brothers. Matter of fact, I'll go to that in a minute. I said that he put garrisons. Let's look up the word garrisons for you Christians out there. The word there is natazayab. Set over something, place, pillar, perfect, garrison, post, pillar, perfect, deputy. Like you have precincts. You go to the city, you got police precincts, that's a garrison. They guard over the city. Let's take that word out. Let's take that word out. Bear with me for a minute. And let's take the word garrison. Garrison. So we're going to look up the word garrison. A garrison is any body of troops, people that are armed with weapons, killing instruments, stationed in a particular location, originally to guard it. The term now often applies to certain facilities that constitute a military base or fortified military headquarters. A garrison is usually in a city, town, like a city. A garrisons in a city would be a precinct. That's a precinct. Castle, ship, whatever. Bear me for a minute. So now let's come back. So we got to do this slow so you Christians can get this. Okay, where am I? I'm a little all over the place. All right, let's go back over here. So now we know what a garrison is, right? It's a military force of military men that surround a community, a city, a state, or whatever. Actually, more or less cities or towns. That's why you have more than one. You have the 44th precinct. You got the 69th precinct. I'm talking about in the city. You got the jurisdictions. Let's go back to that. The people of Edom were first subjugated, put in slavery by Israel in the reign of David. 2 Samuel 8, verse 14, basic information. And he put garrisons. Matter of fact, let me go back to that. Let me read this again. Bear with me for a minute. Forgive me. Anyway, we're back over here in 2 Samuel 8, and we'll go right to the 14th verse again. And he put garrisons, so we know what a garrison and precincts, right? He had his troops guard around the whole of Edom. For what purpose? And he put garrisons in Edom, the land of Edom, throughout all Edom. Like now, when you read Amos 9, 12 verse, start from 11 verse, 12 verse, it speaks about Edom. It's talking about the land. It's not talking about the people. We are going to enslave the people, but it's talking about their land. Because after we do away with them pursuant to Obadiah 1 verse 18, then we're going to have that land. We're going to own that land. Well, we're going to own it because Esau is going to be spread out any goddamn way because he's going to be a slave. Says, and he put garrisons in Edom throughout all Edom, the land of Edom. Put he garrisons, and all day of Edom became David's what? Servants. And the Lord Yahweh preserved David, blessed David, whithersoever he went. And David reigned over all Israel, and David executed judgment and justice unto all his people. Are his people Edomites? No, they're Israelites. So he was right with his people. Putting somebody in slavery, is that a just act? Is a just act if you put the enemy in slavery. And you also have it right here in 1 Chronicles 18, verse 14 to 17. So David reigned over all Israel, executed judgment and justice among all his people. And they were killing Edomite men, the boys and the men, and they were taking the women that were not, the young women, and they were popping them, and they were having children with them too. So that's why you have a lot of Jakes that look like different nations. This is not difficult. So let's go back. And he put garrisons in Edom. That's not an act of love. That's an act of hate. And what did David do? And all day of Edom, all the Edomites became his what? His servants. Let's look up the word servants. Let's look up the word servants. So if you want to say we love them, okay, we love them. But we're gonna show Esau the same love that David, a man after the Most High's own heart, showed the Edomites. So we're gonna do it when we beat the shit out of them. We got them working in the field. We're gonna say this hurts me more than it hurts you, cause I love you, Esau. See how stupid that sounds? Preserve. Let's look up the word preserved. To save, be saved, to deliver, to be delivered, to liberate, be saved, to delivered, to be saved in battle, be victorious, to save, deliver, to save from moral trouble, to give victory to. The saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom, and so possess the kingdom forever, even forever and forever. Who's that given to? The saints. Who are the saints? The Israelites. Okay, so let me see. Garrisons of Edom became David's servants. Let's look up the word servant. The word is ibad. Slave. You don't enslave people that you love. Servant, slave, servant, manservant, subjects, servant, worshipers of God, meaning we're servants under the Most High. Servant, servant, servant. But I like these right here. Slave, 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 manservant, subject or subject to. Right. It says, and curse it, Genesis 9, verse 25. And he said, cursed be Canaan. Now, these Edomites use this precept right here to justify, to say that we put them in slavery because they're Canaanites. No, we're not Canaanites, we're Israelites. A servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. Servant is a nice way of saying slave. You have servants that you pay, and you have servants that you don't pay them shit. You just make sure they eat and they're in their slave quarters. So now, let's go back into this. All right. And if she doesn't wake up from this nonsense, the Most High is going to destroy her. Is Esau your brother? According to the genealogies, yes, he's our brother. But did we put him into captivity? Are we going to exterminate them? Are we going to exterminate our brothers? Let me give you another precept. Amos 1. Thus saith Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, the Edomites, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. You're going to be punished because he did pursue his brother. What brother? His brother Jacob, with the sword to kill him, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually forever, and he kept his wrath forever. But I will send a fire upon Teman, and that fire is that nuclear fire from the missiles, which shall devour the palaces of Bozrah. So no, we're not going to show them any love and when we get them in the kingdom. Can we do anything to them now? No, we'll be going off. It's not our time. It's this man's time. But you can see that this man's going down. And once he goes down, we're going to apply the hatred that the Most High wants us to apply. It's not going to be our hatred. It's going to be the Most High's hatred. What is that? Ezekiel 25 and 12. Let's go to that. Ezekiel 25. And 12. Thus saith the Lord power, because that Edom have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance and have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Now, the fulfillment of that, it says in the New Testament, in the book of Luke, these are the days of vengeance. So when the Romans took us down in 70 AD, key year, that was vengeance for what we did to him when he was Edomite. So the Romans knew that, a lot of the Romans, top elite Romans, knew that they were Edomites, or had to know it. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, the Most High, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and I will cut off man and beast from it. And this is getting ready to happen. And they're going to be slaughtered. And I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword, the nuclear sword, the missiles. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by who? By the hand of my people Israel. Now, we might say, oh, I love you. I don't want to do it. The Most High made me do it. The devil made me do it. Whatever. You still going to get fucked up. And I guarantee you, ain't no Jake going to have no love in his heart while he's chopping your fucking head off. 14th verse. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom. And there's so many precepts that's coming to my head right now. By the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury. You don't have enough fury in your heart. The Most High got to put his fury in your heart. And they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord. So let's say we do love him. I love him. I love him. But guess what? When that time comes, The Most High is going to put a spirit in me of hate and vengeance to get this damn devil. And all of you are going to be destroyed. Obadiah 8, 1 verse 18. So I can cut this short. Let's listen to some more madness. If you're an Edomite vocab, you're going into captivity. The only hope that you have is that you may very well be an Israelite somewhere down the line. But if you are actual Edomite, if your line goes all the way back to Esau, your future is captivity.
No. Yes, God drove Esau out.
Yeah, they're brothers. They're brothers. They're brothers. Yeah, they're brothers. One is a wicked brother and one is a righteous brother. The Most High came for one brother, the righteous brother, not for the wicked brother. The wicked brother is going to go into captivity under the righteous brother. It already happened during the time of King David. And that's, oh, beautiful. It said, I will raise up the house of David as in the days of old, because what did David do to Esau back when he was on the scene? He enslaved them. So what is it saying? Us getting raised back up under the house of David means we're going to put Esau in slavery again.
Right. That'll be separated from the womb.
You have the same father, but out of thy womb shall be two different nations, two different type of people, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people. So nations come from one man. Well, Noah. In the case of Noah, out of Noah, he had 3 sons, and out of those 3 sons are all people that you see on the planet Earth. So they're all different nations. People on the earth don't classify themselves. Well, I'm a Shemite, I'm a Japhite, and I'm a Hamite. They don't understand that. They don't understand that. So she's doing the bidding of Vocab Malone to try to crowbar in Esau. If I can get one Edomite, you ain't gonna get one. Not one Edomite's gonna make it.
Yes. 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 According to the Bible, yes.
And she doesn't even understand the meaning of the word abhor. I'm not going to go into it. If you look up the word abhor, it does not mean hate.
No. No, I love what God loves. No, I don't.
We don't got Edomites are the enemies. What the hell you gonna love? If somebody if a bunch of guys gang raped this woman right here, all right, beat the shit out of her, made her cook Aunt Jemima pancakes. These are Edomites now. These are Edomites. They gang raped her for about a year, made her cook, clean, sew, beat the shit out of her, called her a nigger bitch, and then somebody says, "Oh, remember, you gotta love the Edomites." This is that's why I say that Christians are the stupidest people on the planet Earth.
I love what God loves. What does that mean? Have I ever heard to Edomite? I don't think I ever assaulted any Edomite. I never touched.
He's a good speaker. He answered it well. He said, because what action of hate do I show? Because I'm cool with Edomites until the kingdom comes. And when the kingdom comes, I'm no longer cool with Edomites, man, because I have to be cool.
Here on the Edomites, I never did it, but I knew did it. God did it, and God wants to do it.
And he's going to put, I just read it, Ezekiel 25 and 12 on down, that the Most High is going to put his anger and his fury into us to do it. So you know what? If any Edomites are getting your ass whipped by me, and I'm saying, I love you, Esau, I love you, I don't want to do it, but the Most High is making me do it. Oh, so deal with that.
He did it, and he wants to do it. That's why the war You understand?
Yeah, this guy vocab is desperate, man. And vocab at the end of the day, you're gonna lose. And like I said, you better hope like hell that you are not an Edomite. Because if you're an Edomite, your future is slavery. And you're gonna all these nations are going into slavery. You're not gonna be alone, but you Edomites are gonna catch it the worst. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.